I think we should start with our meeting. Good morning and welcome, honourable members, to this meeting of the Powers and Privileges Committee. We have got a couple of matters that we need to finalize today. I think 4 of them, 5 actually. We've got the minutes, the draft report. There are 2 matters that have been referred to us by the Speaker. And then we have got a report that we agree that we must have regarding the previous incidences. So I'm going to, Namtla, do we form a quorum?
Yes, good morning, Chair, and good morning, members. Yes, Chair, we are forming a quorum. We are, the members that are on the platform are 6 members, so we can proceed, Chairperson.
Okay.
And the apology that I got is apology from Honourable Peters, who has just got a bereavement this morning. So she sent me an SMS that she won't be able to attend to the meeting.
Okay. All right. No, that's fine. Our condolences to the family of Honorable Peters for the bereavement in the family. Let's continue, members. I had some difficulty this morning with my connectivity. We don't have electricity where we are. There's something wrong with our supply of electricity. So I'm just trying some other means to be connected. So if I get off the platform, I would ask that the Deputy Chief Whip takes over if in case it happens that I get disconnected because of the problems that we are having here. But let's continue.
Chairperson.
Honorable Josie.
Yes, I also want to apologize. I can't stay for too long because I'm also attending the Magistrates Commission. So please accept my apology. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other apology?
Chair, Honourable Hussein, previously he submitted apology, but later he withdrew his apology, but I don't see him in the system. But Chair, the PCS has requested that the members, when they speak, they must switch on their video because the meeting is broadcasted live. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. All right. Can we then, who's Honorable Hussein?
Yeah, Chair, just to confirm that I am online and Namsla is correct. I submitted an apology initially incorrectly, actually. And my apologies for the video. I've had to drive to somewhere where I can get a better signal to join the meeting. So with your permission, Chairperson, I unfortunately would prefer to keep the camera off because I'm sitting in a vehicle. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, can we then look at the agenda? Is there anybody who's got objection to us proceeding with the agenda as decided? No.
Chair.
Victor?
Chair, there is a request that item 7 should be deferred to the next meeting because a legal opinion was sought on the matter and it is being considered and it will be finalized quite soon, and therefore a report will be tendered at the next meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there is no report.
There is no report for now, yes.
Okay. But you should have informed me, Victor, before the meeting. So that
yes,
we are able to discuss it. Remember, this is the resolution of the last meeting which took place almost a month ago.
Yeah. My apologies, Chair. I got that confirmation last night. I'm sorry, I should have done it in the morning. Yeah.
Okay. All right, there is a request that this item be postponed to the next meeting. What are the members saying? Okay, it looks like there is a quietness, so let's assume that silence means the members are agreeing that we must postpone this. Okay, so we take off item 7 and we remain with the rest of the other items. Can we go to the minutes, item 3? Any comment?
Chairperson, I move for the adoption of the agenda
Okay.
with
Thank
the
you.
amendment.
We are now on the minutes. What is your comment on the minutes? Honorable Swela, do you want to make a comment on the minutes?
Chairperson, Chairperson, I don't want to make any comment, but to maybe to adopt them.
Okay.
Yes, I move for the adoption as a true
Honorable
reflection.
Swela, move that we must, the meeting must adopt these minutes as a true reflection of the last meeting. Any seconder?
Honorable Chairperson,
Honorable Stock.
my name is Mr. Stock. I second.
Okay, thank you very much. Any dissenting view? The minutes of the 31st of March 2021 are therefore agreed to. Can we move to, let's keep the matters arising. Let's move to the consideration and adoption of the report into the allegation of conduct constituting contempt of Parliament during the mini-plenary of Budget Vote 9, Public Enterprises on the 11th of July 2019. Members who remember that we did discuss this, we accepted this proposed sanction that was proposed by the initiator, Advocate Mayosi. And what was outstanding was the report. So the report basically just detailed the background of this matter, where we came from, the hearing that we had, or the inquiry that we had, and how everything else flowed up until we adopted the sanctions. So the report is just the recordal of the proceedings of this committee. So I'm going to put the report to the members to get comments. Any comments on the report? The report has been circulated to the members before, so I assume that members had had enough opportunity to go through the report. Any Honorable Dozie? I see your hand.
Thanks, Chairperson. I want to, I'd like the report to indicate the actual substantial submissions one would make when they disagree. I'll take you to, for instance, section C.5, which speaks to notification of allegations and charges served on affected members and outside legal representation. Number 5 states that I disagreed with the way forward, but it doesn't say on what grounds. I think it's fair maybe to introduce before this some paragraph of the differing view. so that we know what is it that I disagreed with, or on what basis did I disagree. And I think that the record, I don't want to waste time, we've already canvassed these grounds. But I think a paragraph of what different view with regards to this question of representation one held. And then there's the question of...
Maybe on this one, do you want to make a proposal?
Not at the moment, Chairperson. I thought that the record would show, unless you are asking that I specifically draft the paragraph. Is that the Chairperson's proposal?
No, I just thought that maybe you could have a
no, I don't have the,
okay.
I could work on something, obviously.
All right, it's fine. We'll go to the records, I think, and reflect what was your submission.
Yeah, well, that is the same sort of manner of comment throughout, is that when it is indicated one's disagreement, it is not stated on what grounds. And I thought that is not fair. The committee on section 21 of, or bullet 21 of G, even before. So I thought that it might be prudent to put the paragraph, because as you know, I was the minority view, so it will be like presenting the minority judgment of this whole report, which one substantiated. And then the final one is with regards to some of the, and maybe I don't know how to deal with this one, Chairperson. There are questions that were put to different witnesses, which do not reflect in the actual report. And I know that the report is a summary. So in light of that, I would propose that the report must be accompanied by the transcript of the proceedings. This must be done. I know this one goes to the House, but I would request that the attachment be here of the proceedings, of the transcript of the proceedings, for the purposes of both the record, but also the court processes that are ensuing. Those are my comments. Thanks very much.
Okay. All right. Let me just hear the other members before I sort of comment on what Honourable Ndlozi has indicated.
Chairperson, I raise my hand.
Yes, yeah. Honourable Maluleka.
No, thank you very much, Chairperson.
You'll be followed by
Can I continue?
Yeah, there's a request that we must switch on our videos. Honourable Ndlozi has indicated that he has got difficulty with that it affects his connectivity, and Honourable Hussein has already said so. Maybe just indicate also if you have got a similar problem, otherwise just switch on the video.
Yeah, Chairperson, I would like to request that I don't switch on my video because I'm driving. I have a challenge of the electricity. Okay. So can I just switch it off now?
Yeah, we can see her driving, so maybe just switch off your video.
Sure. Chairperson, thank you very much. And I think I don't differ with what Honourable Ndlozi is saying, but the last part, when he says maybe we need to have the transcript of what transpired, I don't have a problem with that. But to say maybe we need to insert a paragraph where we show that he was objecting to the report because based on 1, 2, 3, I'm not sure whether we should do it, because this is a report that actually we were supposed to have adopted it last time, but because there were some issues that were supposed to be inserted, that is why we said we need to have a session where we adopt this report officially. So I would propose that we adopt this report because we dealt with the report in our previous meeting. Thank you, Chairperson.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Suela.
Thank you, Chairperson. I want to concur with Honorable Maluleke that we adopt the report as
position
planned.
Position your camera properly, Honorable. Oh yeah.
I'm saying I want to concur myself with Honorable Maluleke that this matter, we dealt with it in our previous meeting. Today is to formalize it because we said we need to formalize it. The report need to be adopted in a formal meeting, and that's what we are doing today. What Honorable Ndlozi has said that he need to draft something, I don't agree with that, because the report as it is also stating that one member is disagreeing or disagreed with the sanction. So that on its own, it has got weight. Maybe in future, if ever there can be anything or maybe challenging it whether in court, is then that we can put that evidence. I agree that we adopt the report, and we also accompany the report with the recordings. That to me, it carries more weight because it's what has been transpired into that particular day. But today, allowing one honorable member to craft something, it won't be in line with what we discussed that day. Today, we're here only to adopt, no more deliberation on the matter. Thank you, Chairperson.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Suela. Honorable Hussein.
Chairperson, thank you very much. May I just say that I think that the principle to follow, Chairperson, is the general practice that we adopt in almost all of the committees before the National Assembly. And the generally accepted practice, Chairperson, is when any member in a committee has a dissenting view and requests that their views be included in the report. Usually there isn't an objection to that because it is a factual representation of what that member would have said in that particular meeting. And that's been a precedent in most of the committees before the National Assembly, as we've always adopted in the past. So I want to suggest, Chair, that I think there can be no harm of including a different view that was discussed before the committee, because that's a factual statement that can be inserted in there based on what the official record is. I do think that the Secretariat, though, should be responsible for that and not for any particular member. So I'm not opposed to including a dissenting view in the report because that's exactly what would have transpired. In the end, Chair, the committee will adopt that report unanimously. And if there's a dissenting view on that at that stage, then so be it. And the record will reflect that. So in short, I'm saying I'm not opposed to us including the dissenting view in the report. It's a precedent that we've adopted in other committees before the National Assembly. The second point, Chairperson, is in respect of including the transcript of the committee deliberations. And there again, I suggest, Chair, that we rely on the usual precedent and the generally accepted practice of all committees before the National Assembly. And that's never the case. Any report that comes before the House is only the report, and the transcript is always available to any member as part of the parliamentary records if they wish to access it, whether for legal purposes or for their own records or whatever. So on the first proposal of Honourable Ndlozi, I would agree that, and I would suggest that the Portfolio Committee accepts that we put in that as the record. In any event, we're going to be dealing with the sanctions at a later stage. We can adopt the report and the sanctions at the same time. But I don't think it will be proper for us to include the transcript, because I think Honourable Ndlozi, in his submission about the matter proceeding legally, they would in any event have access to that transcript of Parliament. Thank you very much, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much, members. I think the request that the points that a member has raised in dissenting or in objecting to any other issue that is being discussed by the committee, that is in order. And I think that I hear members don't really have a problem in that. And I think that is something that is accepted. I think we have dealt with this kind of matters before in the past, where a member requests that his dissenting view must be recorded. We always accept that the members' points be included in the report. It may not be included in the level of detail that the member is requesting, because there's also an opportunity for us to debate these matters inside the House. So, but the crux of the issues, I think, should be accepted, that Honourable Ndlozi is requesting. We will include his points that he was raising when he was dissenting with the members of the committee. So that is the first point. And the Secretariat is going to assist us. I see Victor's hand is up. I think I'm going to give him an opportunity later. So the Secretariat is going to assist us in in reflecting the exact points that Honourable Ndlozi raised when he was dissenting. On the second point, I think Honourable Hussein is right. Which is not really the practice that as we publish the report of the committee, we publish at the same time, we publish what do you call this record of proceedings? The verbatim report, so to speak.
Transcript.
The transcript, yeah, thank you very much for that. We don't, it's not a practice that we publish the transcript. But this transcript will be available for any member who wishes to access this transcript. So if Honourable Ndlozi wishes to get the transcript, I think it's within his right to request the transcript. The transcript are there. The proceedings, the inquiry has been recorded. So the transcript will be able to be made available and certified by the support team. So Victor, you wanted to come in?
I just wanted to inform the meeting that the attorneys have been, for purposes of the court processes, have been furnished with the transcript of the meetings.
Okay. Thank you very much, Victor. But in any case, Honourable Ndlozi is within his right as a member of the committee to request them. He will be furnished with the transcript. So with that, honourable members, do I take it that we accept the report as it is? It has already been moved by Honourable Maluleka, seconded by Honourable Suela. And I think the points that Honourable Ndlozi was raising, the one point about including the points that he was raising, I think we've accepted that. The second one on the transcript, he's got all the rights to access the transcript, so that should not be an issue. So we are done with the report, members. Can we then move to the second item? Or must I find out if there is any objection? No objection. The report is agreed to. Can we move to Honourable Ndlozi? Are you objecting again?
No. I'm saying that the report indicates the objections, Chairperson. So as long as those changes are inserted, we are safe to move on. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Can we move to the next item? The next item is on the matters that were referred to the committee. And I hope that the Secretariat has distributed a copy of the letter that we received from the Speaker, which then contains the details of the complaints that we have received. The first one is a complaint from Dr. K M Makhubela, who is the former CEO of BrandSA South Africa, who complains that the chairperson of BrandSA, Ms T Tobias, during the meeting of the Committee on Public Service and Administration on the 10th of March 2021, made some misrepresentations, alleged misrepresentations about Dr. Makhubela. So we have requested that the legal services must prepare a submission for us in order to guide this committee as to how we should handle this referral to the committee. I'm going to take this opportunity and invite Andile, whom I've requested that prepare something to guide the committee so that we can prepare that it can then make that presentation to the committee. Unfortunately, for now, this presentation is not in writing, but we will make it available to the members after this. Andile.
Good morning, honorable members, and good morning to the colleagues. Chairperson, I also have connection issues, connectivity issues. I'm not sure if your permission you will allow me to present without showing my face on the screen.
Okay, are you not in Parliament?
Not today, Chair.
Okay. No, it's fine. You can continue, but your sound also has got a problem.
Yeah, is this connected?
I can't hear you. You have to speak very close to your gadget.
Okay, Chair. Can you hear me now, sir?
Yeah, we can hear you. Continue.
Thanks, Chair. Okay, Chairperson, factually, Chair, I think you've given us sort of like a high-level background in terms of what are the facts. What is happening here, Chair, is that Dr. Makhubela used to work for BrandSA as a CEO. And apparently on the 10th of March, 2021, there's a presentation which was made to the Portfolio Committee on Public Service and Administration. And in that presentation, the current chairperson of the board, Ms. Tobias, made a statement to the effect that Dr. Makhubela was fired due to a charge of misconduct by BrandSA. Now, Dr. Makhubela seems to be of the view that that was factually incorrect. It was misrepresentation, and the portfolio committee was then therefore misled by the current chairperson of BrandSA. Now, the speaker was placed in receipt of a letter on the 12th of March. On the 24th of March, she then referred the matter to this particular committee to deal with it in section of 25. So in terms of section 25 of the Powers, Privileges and Immunities of Parliament and Provincial Legislatures Act. Now, Chair, section 25 is aimed at protecting members of the public whenever disparaging remarks or statements are made, particularly in Parliament, and the member of the public feels that those statements might have a negative sort of like impact on his reputation and standing as a citizen. They have a right, to approach Parliament, and of course, Section 25 then says that in instances like that, if, for instance, the committee finds that the request, as it has been put before it by Dr. Makhubela, is correct insofar as there's been a misrepresentation of or a factually correct statement hasn't been made. There's a procedure which is outlined in Rule 214 of the rules to the NA, and I think that procedure sort of like presents sort of some form of a lodestar to the committee to say that in instances of this nature, what should the committee do? Now, I think as a starting point, Chair, I think we would need to get committee minutes from the Portfolio Committee on Public Service Administration, but also a committee report in order to ascertain as to the veracity of what Dr. Makhubela is raising. But I would also request the committee to look at the request, for instance, or at the redress which the complainant is seeking from Parliament. I mean, the complainant is seeking a redress in two forms. The first redress is some form of redress within Parliament. In other words, to correct the false reporting by BrandSA, the alleged false reporting by BrandSA. The second redress is that you will see that the complainant has sent Parliament a document which is titled Anatomy of Corruption at BrandSA. And of course, Dr. Makhubela has asked Parliament to assist him because he has also alluded to the fact that he has reported this to SEPS and the law enforcement agencies, are dealing with it. But of course, the department that is a responsible department for purposes of exercising oversight in this instance on BrandSA is the presidency. And I think one of the things which the committee can do is to perhaps refer this to the presidency and ask the presidency, the minister in particular, what is it that they are going to do with this corruption dossier. But regarding the first redress, Chair, you will see that Rule 2144 speaks about after receiving the request to have a response recorded, referred to in sub-rule 1, the committee must without delay inform the member or witness concerned that a request to have a response recorded has been received, and thereafter consider the request in accordance with criteria that the committee has approved. So the committee is at free will to say which set criteria they want to proceed with. Now, Rule 2144B says, in considering the request, the committee may invite verbal or written submissions by the member, witness, or any other person concerned. After considering the request to have a response recorded, the committee must publish the response in the ATC, refer it back to the person for amendment if there's a need for that, or the committee may decide, for instance, not to publish the response. So in actual fact, what I'm saying is that in terms of Section 25, what the committee would need to do would need to get the committee report of the 10th of March 2021, would need to go to get the committee minutes as well. And I think the committee then will then decide whether they want the affected parties to come in person and sort of like present, I mean, as part of the Audi rule, to present to the committee, whether that should be verbal or that should be in writing. And then the committee can take whatever decision it deems fit in terms of the procedure as outlined in section 2144 A, B, and C of the rules. Now, you will also recall, Chair, that even though this falls outside the province or remit of the committee, that if a person, for instance, with intent makes a statement to a committee of parliament or to the House, which is deceptive, which misleads, I mean, parliamentary committee. In terms of section 17(2)(d) of PIPLA, which is the Act, that is an offence, and of course, anyone who does that is liable to a fine or to imprisonment for a period not exceeding 2 years, or to both a fine and imprisonment. But Chairperson, I would urge the committee to be circumspect, because the referral to the committee is in terms of section 25. And I think that the committee, which will be competent enough to take this forward in terms of section 17(2)(d), will be the portfolio committee for public service administration. I'm not sure, Chair, if I've not captured sort of like in a nutshell the salient points which the committee must deliberate on regarding this matter. Thanks, Chair.
All right, thank you very much, Andile, for the presentation on what should be the way forward that should be taken by the committee when considering this complaint. Maybe let me just find out from the members whether they've received a copy of the complaint and the referral by the speaker. Namhla, were you able to circulate it to all the members?
No, Chair, I didn't send the letter to the members, but I've got the letter. I can email the letter to all members after the meeting.
But why, Namhla, why do you not send members the information that they are going to discuss? This should have been done before, as soon as we agree that it must be discussed today. Well, anyway, let's proceed with the discussion. But I don't understand why, I mean, these simple things are not being attended to. Members are now going to engage in an issue that they've not read side of. Anything that comes to us, that comes to the chairperson, must be sent to all the members. It doesn't belong to me, it belongs to the committee. Especially if we have directed that it must be discussed. But anyway, I hope members have got a gist of what the issues are. I see Honourable Ndlozi's hand is up. Honourable Ndlozi.
Yeah, thanks, Chairperson. Well, quite honestly, I think one wants to formulate their own opinion by referral to the documentation. And at this stage, it's really difficult to engage in this substantial issue regarding how we must proceed. And I think it will be the first time anyway, we are dealing with a complaint of the member of the public. From what the presenter has said, I have not detected any wrong procedural progression, but it is just difficult to immediately agree because I don't have, and we've not been given the actual complaint by these people. And I must say that includes the only documentation we received for this meeting is the agenda and the draft report of the item we've just discussed in the previous item in the agenda. So I don't know. You might want to reel on this one, Chairperson. Personally, my hands are tied, and I'm saying it will be an injustice to engage without having formed an independent opinion informed by the documents. Thank you.
Okay, I take that point. Honourable Suela and Honourable Hussein.
Thank you, Chairperson, for the opportunity. Chair, I happen to agree with Honourable Ndlozi because indeed we can't engage. In the first place, we didn't receive even this agenda as members. And I heard you making a ruling that members should have been given the document, of which I believe we are still going to receive it. Since we don't have those documents, we don't have the report, we don't have the minutes, I will appeal that in terms of Section 25, we need to get it so that we can have some commitment on this matter. My humble appeal, Chair, is that we be given that opportunity so that we're able to do the right thing. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Honourable Hussein.
Yeah, Chairperson, I do agree that the document needs to be circulated properly so we can apply our minds before we even make any decision. May I make one additional request, Chairperson, is that that we also circulate to the Portfolio Committee in this particular instance from a report or a guidance from the legal team on to what extent does honourable members enjoy some level of immunity for the comments that they make in Parliament itself, and how that particular provision affects this complaint, because I think that's an important matter to consider before we even take the matter any further. So if those two things, I think, can be sent to Chair, I think it'll be helpful for the Portfolio Committee to decide further on how we deal with it going forward. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Members, I think members are right. And I want to make this very clear to the support team, to the Secretariat. When we receive documentation, referrals, and we direct that referral must be discussed by the committee, members are entitled to get the documents. How are members going to engage in an issue if they have not received any documentation? Because all along I was under the impression that once the issues are itemized, the supporting documents have to be circulated to all the members. Now we're going to waste a lot of time now having to postpone the meeting to get the documents to be circulated, when we should have just gotten into the issues. The only thing that was supposed to follow was supposed to be this written advice that we have received from Andile. That was the only thing. Otherwise, the rest of the documentation should have been sent to the members. Now we have to postpone because members have not received the documentation, which is very, very unfair. Remember, this is a committee that we served in addition to the other committees that we are serving in. So we're already stretched. We don't have the luxury of having to postpone any of our meetings because documentations have not been circulated. I think that is very unacceptable. I'm going to request the Secretariat to please pull up your socks, because this is just not on. It is definitely not on to having to postpone because documents have not been circulated to members. How do you expect members to take decisions on issues that are on the item, but there are no documents? I mean, I don't think that is really acceptable. I want to suggest, members, that maybe let's allow the administration together with the chairperson to make the necessary follow-ups in terms of the set out procedures. If the procedure that is outlined in the Act says that we must request documentation, we must get a report, and all those reports must then be presented to the committee, I don't think it's a matter that requires the decision of the committee. It's something that just has to be done and then be reported to the committee. So I'm going to request that we allow that all the processes that has been outlined by legal services, we follow up those processes. We request a report, we request minutes from that portfolio committee. If there is a need to allow the other party to also make, in terms of the audi alteram pater rule, we do so that by the time we come to this committee, we have got all that is required for this committee to make a decision so that we don't have to come back. I'm just stating it here so that members should also be aware as a request, but also as some form of a guide from myself so that we don't have to waste a lot of time on matters which are procedural, so that the committee gets to be seized with the substantive issues that it has to take a decision on. So I think this will apply on this matter. And I'm going to sort of check if there is any other dissenting view. Otherwise, that's how we're going to conclude this matter. That one, we will allow the administration to follow up what needs to be followed up, particularly the report of that meeting of the 10th of March, together with the minutes, probably even the record, the Hansard the Hansard record of the proceedings of that meeting, actually what was said. And then we should also request the person against whom a complaint has been laid to also get an opportunity to put her side of the story. And we then come back to the committee with all those reports, and then the committee will then take a decision. This is how we're concluding on this matter. Any other view? I see these are old hands, Honourable Ndlozi and Honourable Hussein. Okay. All right, that's how we have summarized on that issue. The next one also, I think, is going to have to suffer the same fate because it looks like members have not been given documents. I really don't understand. How do we expect members to decide on something like this when there are not documents? Are we just going to be listening to hearsay, or this one said so, this one said so? I've asked.
Chairperson.
Yes.
Chair.
Namhla?
It's me, Namhla.
Yeah.
Yes, Chair. Chair,
Yes,
the instruction via the email that I received from your secretary, Utania Kleinans, indicated that I must circulate the minutes of the meeting, the report, the notice to all members. I was never asked to circulate a letter that was addressed to you by the speaker. So, Chair, that's why the letter was not, but now I've just emailed the letter to all the members now.
Well, I'm not aware of that email, Namhla, but let's not engage in this. My secretary does not prepare for this meeting. You are the one who prepares for the meeting. And you are the one who distributes the documentation. So let's not get into that. Because now I think we're going to be distracted. The secretariat prepares for the meeting, gets the necessary documentation. and circulate to the members, including on this one. But it's fine. There are no documentations that have been sent. So we can't proceed with this one. I'd asked that the legal services must prepare us something, and Mrs. Gangen was ready to take us through, but members need to be to receive copies of the documentation. But I see Honourable Ndlozi's hand is up.
No, thanks, Chairperson. It seems to me the important document here relates to the actual complaint by is it the Chairperson or whoever was representing Brand South Africa? Not just the speakers led. So we get.
No, we're done with that.
Sorry?
We are done with that one. We are on the second item.
No, I'm raising this, Chairperson, because the letter that we have received now, which the Secretary is referring to, is only from the Speaker. So I think if we leave the meeting having not clarified that, we'll find ourselves again here. But okay, if you are saying we should trust that you will be on top of it personally next time, that's okay.
No, we'll prepare properly for this thing. I think we must apologize to the members about all of these things. We thought that when the necessary preparations for the meeting are supposed to be done, they are done properly. But what has happened is that we have received a complaint. That complaint was sent to the Speaker. I'm referring to the Brand South Africa from Dr. Makhubela. The Speaker then made that referral to the committee, to myself, on behalf of the committee. So that referral has got all the details. It's got a letter of the Speaker, it's got the actual complaint from Dr. Makhubela together with the attachments. Dr. Makhubela has made a lot of attachments there in his referral. So that is the package of documentation that we have received. On the second one, there is a complaint from the Chief Whip of the official opposition that was sent to the Speaker. The Speaker has referred that complaint to us. It is a complaint that has to be distributed to the members. We have requested legal services to also advise us as to what course of action to follow. So that advice has also been received from legal services. So the two documents were supposed to be presented to this meeting as to what is it that we need to do following the referral of these documents. But now we don't have those things. So I think that we should then postpone this meeting to the next date. In the meantime, the documents will be circulated to the members, and then we'll go back, we'll meet with the Secretariat, we'll make sure that all the necessary preparations are done before members come to the meeting. We will decide on a date of the meeting, and we will then